माया कल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतम् मायाविविजृम्भयत्यपि महा योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकम् असत्कल्पार्थकं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यत्साक्षात्करणाद् भवेन्न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवाम्भोनिधौ तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नानाचित्रघटोत्तरस्थितमहादीपप्रभाभास्वरम् ज्ञानं यस्य तु चक्षुरादिकरणद्वारा बहिस्पन्दते जानामीति तमेव भान्तमनुभाति एतत् समस्तं जगत् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये देहं प्राणमपीन्द्रियानपि चलां बुद्धिं च शून्यं विदुः स्त्रीबालान्धजडोपमास्त्वमिति भ्रान्ताभृशं वादिनः मायाशक्तिविलासकल्पितमहा व्यामोहसंहारिणे तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये राहुग्रस्तदिवाङ्करेन्दुसदृशो मायासमाच्छादनात् सन्मात्रकरणोपसंहरणतो यो भूसुषुप्तः पुमान् प्रागस्वाप्समिति प्रबोधसमये यः प्रत्यभिज्ञायते तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बाल्यादिषु अपि जाग्रदादिषु तथा सर्वास्वस्थास्वपि व्यावृत्तास्वनुवर्तमानमहमित्यन्तःस्फुरन्तं सदा स्वात्मानं प्रकटीकरोति भजतां यो मुद्रया भद्रया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये विश्वं पश्यति कार्यकारणतया स्वस्वामिसम्बन्धतः शिष्याचार्यतया तथैव पितृपुत्रात्यात्मना भेदतः स्वप्ने जागृति वा य एष पुरुषो माया परिभ्रामितः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये भूरम्भांस्य नलो नीलो अम्बर्महर्नार्थो हिमांशुः पुमान् इत्याभाति चराचरात्मकमिदं यस्यैव मूर्त्यष्टकम् नान्यत् किञ्चिन विद्यते विमृशतां यस्मात् परस्मात् विभोः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये सर्वात्ममिति स्फुटीकृतमिदं यस्मिन्नमुष्मिंस्तवे तेनास्य श्रवणात् तदर्थमननात् ध्यानात् च संकीर्तनात् सर्वात्ममिति विभूतिसहितं स्यादीश्वरत्वं स्वतः सिद्ध्येतत् पुनरष्टधा परिणतं चैश्वर्यमव्याहतम्. Okay, so let us do this. I think that we went up to, from my recollection, the Ashtottara up to 54, Dakshinamurti Ashtottara. So let us do 55 to 108 and hopefully just repeat once. So with that we'll finish today's puja. So starting with verse number 55. Om Taru Mulaika Nilayaya Namaha. But before that, just a Dhyana Shloka. So you can just follow after me. Om Spatika Rajata Varnam. Om Spatika Rajata Varnam. Mauktakim Akshamalam. Mauktakim Akshamalam. Amrita Kalasha Vidyam. Kalasha Vidyam. Jnana Mudram Karagre. Dadata Muraga Kaksham. Chandrachudam Trinetram. Vidhrita Vividha Bhusham. Dakshina Murtimide. And then we'll pronounce the next one 3 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye. Mahyam Medham Pragyam Prayachya Swaha. Mahyam Medham Pragyam Prayachya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye. Mahyam Medham Pragyam Prayachya Swaha. Mahyam Medham Pragyam Prayachya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye. Mahyam Medham Pragyam Prayachya Swaha. Mahyam Medham Pragyam Prayachya Swaha. Okay, now with number 55. Om Tarumulaika Nilayaya Namaha. Om Tarumulaika Nilayaya Namaha. Om Tapta Jambu Nada Prabhaya Namaha. Om Tapta Janu Nada Prabhaya Namaha. Om Tattva Pustola Satpanaye Namaha. Om Tattva Pustola Satpanaye Namaha. Om Tapanodupalochanaya Namaha. Om Tapanodupalochanaya Namaha. Om Yamasannuta Satkirtaye Namaha. Om Yamasannuta Satkirtaye Namaha. Om Yamasamyama Samyutaya Namaha. Om Yamasamyama Samyutaya Namaha. Om Yati Rupadharaya Maunine Namaha. Om Yati Rupadharaya Maunine Namaha. Om Yatindropasya Vigrahaya Namaha. Om Yatindropasya Vigrahaya Namaha. Om Mandarahara Ruchiraya Namaha. Om Mandarahara Ruchiraya Namaha. Om Madanayuta Sundaraya Namaha. Om Madanayuta Sundaraya Namaha. Om Mandasmita Lasatvakraya Namaha. Om Mandasmita Lasatvakraya Namaha. Om Madhuradhar Pallavaya Namaha. Om Madhuradhar Om Manjira Manjupadabjaya Namaha. Om Manjira Manjupadabjaya Namaha. Om Manipattola Satkataye Namaha. Om Manipattola Satkataye Namaha. Om Hastankurita Chinmudraya Namaha. Om Hastankurita Chinmudraya Namaha. Om Hatha Yoga Parottamaya Namaha. Om Hatha Yoga Parottamaya Namaha. Om Hamsa Japyakshamadhyaya Namaha. Om Hamsa Japyakshamadhyaya Namaha. Om Hamse Dwaradhyapadukaya Namaha. Om Hamse Dwaradhyapadukaya Namaha. Om Meru Shrinkatalot Tatollasaya Namaha. Om Meru Shrinkatatollasaya Namaha. Om Meru Shrinkatatollasaya Namaha. Om Meru Shrinkatatollasaya Namaha. Om Meghashyama Manoharaya Namaha. Om Meghashyama Manoharaya Namaha. Om Medhankuralvalagryaya Namaha. Om मेधांकुरबालाग्र्याय ॐ मेधापक्वफलद्रुमाय नमः ॐ मेधापक्वफलद्रुमाय ॐ धार्मिकान्तर्गुहावासाय नमः ॐ धार्मिकान्तर्गुहावासाय ॐ धर्ममार्गप्रवर्तकाय नमः ॐ धामत्रयनिजारामाय नमः धामत्रयनिजारामाय ॐ धर्मोत्तममनोरथाय नमः धर्मोत्तममनोरथाय ॐ प्रबोधोद्गारदीपश्रिये नमः ॐ प्रबोधोद्गारदीपश्रिये ॐ प्रकाशितजगत्र्याय नमः प्रकाशितजगत्र्याय ॐ प्रज्ञाचन्द्रशिलाचन्द्राय नमः प्रज्ञाचन्द्रशिलाचन्द्राय ॐ प्रज्ञामणिवराकराय नमः ॐ ज्ञानान्तरभासात्मने नमः ज्ञानान्तरभासात्मने ॐ ज्ञातृज्ञादिविदुरगाय नमः ज्ञातृज्ञादिविदुरगाय ॐ ज्ञानज्ञाद्वैतदिव्यांगाय नमः ज्ञानज्ञातदिव्यांगाय ॐ ज्ञातृज्ञादिकुलागताय नमः ज्ञातृज्ञादिकुलागताय ॐ प्रपन्नपारिजाताग्र्याय नमः प्रपन्नपारिजाताग्र्याय ॐ प्रणतार्थब्ध्यविड्वाडवाय नमः ॐ प्रणतार्थब्धिवाड ॐ प्रणतार्थब्धिवाडवाय नमः ॐ प्रणतार्थब्धिवाडवाय नमः ॐ भूतानां प्रमाणभूताय नमः भूतानां प्रमाणभूताय ॐ प्रपञ्चहितकारकाय नमः ॐ यत्तत्त्वमसि संवेद्याय नमः ॐ यत्तत्त्वमसि संवेद्याय नमः यत्तत्त्वमसि संवेद्याय नमः ॐ यक्षगेयात्मवैभवाय नमः यक्षगेयात्मवैभवाय ॐ यज्ञादिदेवतामूर्तये नमः यज्ञादिदेवतामूर्तये ॐ यजमानवपुर्धराय नमः ॐ छत्राधिपतिविश्वेश्वाय नमः छत्राधिपतिविश्वेशाय ॐ छत्राधिपतिविश्वेशाय नमः ॐ छत्राधिपतिविश्वेशाय ॐ ॐ छत्रचामरसेविताय नमः ॐ छत्रचामरसेविताय ॐ छत्रचामरसेविताय नमः ॐ छन्दशास्त्रादिनिपुणाय नमः छन्दशास्त्रादिनिपुणाय नमः ॐ छलजात्यादिदूरगाय नमः छलजात्यादिदूरगाय नमः ॐ स्वाभाविकसुखैकात्मने नमः स्वाभाविकसुखैकात्मने ॐ स्वानुभूतिरसोददये नमः स्वानुभूतिरसोददये नमः ॐ स्वाराज्यसम्पद्ध्यक्षाय नमः स्वाराज्यसम्पद्ध्यक्षाय ॐ स्वात्माराममहामतये नमः स्वात्माराममहामतये ॐ हाटकाबजटाजूटाय नमः ॐ हासोदस्तारिमण्डलाय नमः हासोदस्तारिमण्डलाय ॐ हासोदस्तारिमण्डलाय नमः हासोदस्तारिमण्डलाय ॐ Om Hala Halojjwalagalaya Namaha. Om Hardha Granthi Vimochakaya Namaha. Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha. Om Shri Dayananda Swamine Namaha. Om Shri Maheshananda Swamine Namaha. Okay. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Vyomavadyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Gukarastvandakaro vai Rukarastvanivartakaha Andhakaranidoditvad Guruvidyavihiyate Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Nantah pragyam na bahishpragyam na ubhayatah pragyam na pragyanaganam na pragyam na pragyam adrishtam avyavaharyam agrahyam alakshanam achintyam apyapadeshyam ekatma pratyayasaram prapancha upashamam shantam shivam advaitam chaturtham manyante sa atma sa vigyeyah. What I'm thinking of doing is really going a little faster. Since this is a revision, we have done all of this. So we will actually hopefully finish verses 15, 16, 17 and 18, all of them, which will bring us up to date, up to whatever we have done up to this point. And then from next week on, we will begin with the verse of the Upanishad itself, number 8. So hopefully it will be, because we're now familiar with the subject matter of what is being talked about. So I'm going to go a little faster and perhaps not go through the explanations of all of the individual things and so on. So With that in view, let us chant verses, the Karika verses 15, 16, 17 and 18. This is what we will cover today. Number 15. Anyatha grinnata swapnaha, anyatha grinnata swapnaha, nidra tattvamajanataha, nidra tattvamajanataha, viparyaseta yokshine, viparyaseta yokshine, turiyam padamashnute, turiyam padamashnute, anadimaya suktaha, anadimaya suktaha, yada jiva prabudhyate, ajamannidram aswapnam, advaitam budhyate tada, prapancho yadi vidyeta, nivartetana samshayah, maya matramidam dvaitam, advaitam paramarthataha, vikalpo vinivarteta, kalpito yadi kenachit, upadeshad ayam vadaha, jnate dvaitam na vidyate. So here, one thing that I think we should really focus our minds on in terms of the from this point on, I think it will be more focus on thinking about what has already been communicated. So mananam, we are transitioning into mananam. So as we transition into mananam, the one thing that we should really focus our mind on, keep that in our thinking, is the following: that all my experiences can be classified under the fact that they are a swapnam. Very important for us to see. You see, so this is an important thing, because right now we are making a distinction between my dream experiences and my waking experiences. So we kind of localize the dream to a very small set of a daily experience, and somewhat we get affected by it for a short time, but it's gone. So there's nothing much consequence. My whole focus is my life, myself. What do I do? Where am I going? How should I rearrange my life? All those kinds of things that we are very familiar with. And also keeping up with problems, health problems, emotional problems, money problems. This is what my main focus is. And so I compartmentalize with the dream and the waking state. So here the advice given by the acharyas, which is a very important one that we should just grab onto. And it's a start. It's not going to be totally effective in the beginning, but the direction that we should go in our lives is important. It's not whether you reach there. See, that's the thing. Whether you're getting there or not is less important, but the direction that you're going should be important, because you should not be wandering around. There's a big difference between wandering around, not knowing both the person who's wandering around and the person who is well set in the given direction, have not reached. Both of them have not reached. But there is a big difference, because wandering around means that you are confused. This happens, you go around and you say, oh my gosh, we were here before, we are exactly in the same place. This is confusion. Whereas a person who is going in the right direction knows that you are not there, but at least you have a very clear idea. And every time you go a little bit nearer, you say, yes, this is it. This is the right one. Then, even though you haven't really reached the destination, you're well settled in the way you're going. So with that in being, the direction that the acharyas want, the Shruti wants us to go, is to understand that all of my experiences are swapna. Not just this little one in the night time that I find localized. No. You should understand that is just a sample. But the basic the basic thing we need to understand is, if you want to really reach the destination of where we are all going, which is complete freedom from all dukkha, if this is what we want to do, then we must be very clear that the entire set of experiences should be viewed as swapna. And of course, our minds immediately protest. How do you mean this is swapna? How can you say that? This is very real. I'm tapping on this and making a sound and hurting my fingers and so on and so forth. Swapna needs to be defined very precisely. And that means anyatha grahanam. Anyatha grahanam. So anyatha grahanam means that if you take something to be other than what it is qualified as swapna. This is it, pure and simple. So hang on to the coattails of the Shruti. Don't let go of it. Even though, it's kind of like like a child is told that, hold on to my coattails. There's winds blowing, there's people going around, we are in the middle of some kind of a crowd and so on, but don't lose your connection. Because if the two of us get separated, I don't know what will happen to you. So similarly, we need to hang on to the coattails of the Shruti with this definition. Anyatha grahanam iti swapnam. This is it. And even though you're not completely clear about it, you have doubts about it and so on, but if you want to go in the right direction, this is what you need to do. This is the central point of this whole thing about the mananam. And then, having done that, then you question how, what is going on. So here also, our acharyas also say that and so on, that really speaking, the cause of all of my life's problems is anyatha grahanam. Anyatha grahanam means actually it is ajnanam, it is ignorance. Ignorance, the fact that I take things to be real when they are not. And it's not going to be easy for you to turn that around, but you better get started. And if you're serious about it, this is what you need to do. So that is the very central theme of this whole thing. And so, and the only difference from that is that for a short period of time at night time, you do not have anyatha grahanam. For the waking state and the swapna state, it is anyatha grahanam. Taking things to be other than what they are is what is the definition of anyatha grahanam. But in the short time of the nidra, deep sleep, you do not have anyatha grahanam. But you have agrahanam. So there is a difference. Just because you do not have anyatha grahanam, that doesn't mean that you have correct grahanam. There is a transitory state which says you have agrahanam. You neither have anyatha grahanam nor you have grahanam. And this is exactly what happens at night time. Agrahanam means I don't take anything. I don't make a mistake, but the cause is still there. Still there, absolutely. And so this needs to, and so when you have turiya, when you have your basic, when you understand the whole thing, this is where we have to go to. There you have neither anyatha grahanam nor tu agrahanam. You take things to be what you are. And what you are is what you are, what your reality is, what your basic substance is, which is complete freedom. Already there. You are already there. It's not as though you're going to acquire it. You're already there. You are just confusing it by covering it with anyatha grahanam, agrahanam, and so on. And once that is removed, then you're completely okay. The one thing that just came to me, I'll just share with you. You know, so there is in this transition from a swapna state to a state where you have a very clear idea of who you are and so on, has two kind of, like you might say, causes to it. Two causes, let's say, for the time being. So one is called Ishvara Shrishti, and the other one is the Jiva Shrishti. Ishvara Shrishti and Jiva Shrishti. Okay? And so the first thing to do is to separate them. So Ishvara Shrishti is responsible for things where you are at this point in time. Okay? And Jiva Shrishti is where you are still confused about yourself and you're creating things, you're making it even worse. So one example. Okay? So the example is that the sunlight is ever present. There's no blocking of sunlight except in two cases. One is Ishvara Shrishti and the other one is Jiva Shrishti. How? So you can block sunlight by the Ishvara Shrishti of the sun hiding behind the other side of the earth. So you have complete darkness. You absolutely do not see the light whatsoever. So in this particular case, it doesn't mean that the sunlight is not there, but it is blocked. You cannot see it. And it is blocked for a very particular reason. This is called Ishvara Shrishti. He has really figured out that it is nice to have the earth moving like this. Because it's very possible that, this is what we have to really understand. What an intelligent creation this is. What an intelligent, Ishvara's intelligence is marvelous. We cannot even imagine. It is so good that we cannot understand it. And so imagine that the earth doesn't move. So what will happen, that one side is always dark, the other side is always light. All kinds of problems. We can't even imagine the problems. So the earth moving so that half the time you are light and the other half you are dark is Ishvara Shrishti. And so yes, you are right, you do not see the sunlight, even though it is there all the time. And I also mentioned to you, I think you've seen this, and it took me a while to understand this, that if you are beyond the stratosphere, even though there is sun, it is complete darkness. Amazing. And when it became clear to me that the reason for that is that there is nothing to reflect the sunlight. It is just complete vacuum. And in order to see something, there needs to be air particles that reflect the sun. It is not just the wall, but even in this there is light. It's because it is, and so if you are in a complete above about 200 miles or so, the astronauts do not see anything. It's all dark. So that's another way, which is the Ishvara Srishti, means that particles are created so that the sunlight becomes diffused and you can see around. Anyway, going back to so the Ishvara Srishti is that even though there is sunlight all over, there is a possibility where it is blocked from your view for some very particular reasons. That's how seasons are created, that's how your dream is created, that's how you go to sleep. One half of the earth is round, is lighted, the other is not lighted. This is all due to Ishvara Srishti. Now, there is Jiva Srishti. How you in the daytime, you can close your windows and be in complete darkness. And so Ishvara Srishti, it is not there, it is Jiva Srishti. And so really speaking now, and so the question is, why am I bringing these two things? For the following reason. And that is that, yes, up to this point where I find myself as a human being and I am born with Anyatha Grahanam. Anyatha Grahanam. The child is also takes things to be real, and it is very normal. And so this is all your past karmas that make you a child and looking things outside and taking things as even though they are not real to be real. All of that is Ishvara Srishti. But the Jiva Srishti is that you do not see the Swapnavastha in the whole thing. You need to look into it and see that this is like opening your own windows, and you see that really speaking, even though it appears to be dark, but if you just do some things, the sunlight is naturally there. So here the only conclusion or conviction and conclusion is sunlight is not to be created. It is already there. You are just blocking it. So therefore, this is what it is saying, that and we studied last time in 14 also, Swapna Nidra Yutau Adyau Pragyah Swapna Nidraya Na Nidram Na Evacha Swapnam Turye Pashyanti Nischitaha. Anyway, just to summarize that through Anyat. So the key thing is to start the process to be very true to the pratigya, the promise, that if you were to see that the whole thing is a swapna, you'll be free. You'll be free. Here, I'm said that I'm not going to do this, but it's interesting. I'm just bringing some other viewpoints, some other thoughts to it, and so on. So, in some chapters of the Panchadashi, there is a section that Vidyaranya gives. Really, it made a lot of clarity in my thinking by once I got through the whole section. What it says is that what you see can never be fully analyzed. Cannot be fully analyzed. And the sooner you reach this step, the better off you will be. So just like, for example, a swapna, and this is related to the swapna, that's why I'm giving you this side commentary, that just like a swapna, you cannot analyze it. What happens? It's amazing. See, in fact, it's interesting. This is about a week ago. I had a dream about Swami Tattvavidananda. Very fascinating. It's really interesting. So if I recall, my dream was, I found myself in close to him, and he was speaking in Sanskrit, or at least in my dream Sanskrit, some kind of a something. And I am struggling to understand what he's saying. And I'll tell you why. Because I was discussing, dreams all have some connection and so on. I had been telling someone, I've been telling now for a while, that my study of Sanskrit has stopped. Because ever since I discovered Swami Maheshananji's Hindi books, which are highly Sanskritized, I'm not spending time in either studying Sanskrit. I have reached to a certain point where I'm okay with it, but I'm not a scholar. So I just want to now enjoy the fruits of understanding. And occasionally I see a word that I don't understand, I look it up in the dictionary. But other than that, Swami Maheshananji's Sanskritized Hindi is adequate for me. So now Kumud is teaching Sanskrit. I'm not teaching Sanskrit like he used to. So the whole idea was my current understanding of Sanskrit and so on. Then Swami Tattvavidananda was also very much in the news because he is not coming to the ashram, and we were wondering why, what's happening. So somehow those two got connected in a dream. And I'm sitting there and he's talking in Sanskrit, and I'm trying to understand it. And I ask a question and he replies to me in Sanskrit. And so is some kind of a, assembly of people, and other people also there. It was very funny. That was, so the dream is not to be analyzed. I mean, I'm actually analyzing it, how it happened. But really speaking, doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Similarly, our life, so this is what is called achintya. So this Swami Vidyaranya uses this word in the 6th chapter somewhere. Achintyam. Achintyam means you cannot absolutely analyze it. In the end, you will say, I don't know. In the Vedic system of thinking, there are 6 schools of thoughts in the Vedikas. So you probably know most of them. So one of them, I think I mentioned that last time also, are called the Vaisheshikas. So the Vaisheshikas are very much like the current scientists. And this has been going on for God knows how many thousands of years. Vaisheshikas are not new. And the fundamental part of the Vaisheshikas is that the whole Srishti is based out of small particles, just like the scientists today. And they analyzed it. They have it's different from what it is today, but they have their own system. So I forget the Sanskrit names for it, but there is a division of all the particles and so on. So they believe in that. So Maheshanji says that today also, in the case of the modern scientists, they say that mass equals energy, which is a great thing, that really energy gets converted into mass and mass gets converted into energy. But what the constituents of the energy are, if you talk to even the Nobel Prize winners, they'll say, we don't know. We don't know. How the particles dissolve. Anyway, all of this to say that the sooner you don't try to understand the world, you do it up to a superficial level, just so that your transactions are comfortable for you. But if you are saying that I want to be able to figure out exactly what is happening, it is impossible. Maya Shakti cannot be analyzed. It is exactly like you're seeing a snake on a rope. You can never understand why, how did it happen, and what was the length of our snake. It's useless. It's not there. In fact, here also they are in these next 2 or 3 verses. Yeah, in number 17 and 18, prapancho yadi vidyeta nivartetana samshayaha. That if this was to be real, then you could analyze it, you could see it, but it's not. So the start of the whole thing. So just to close off this sidetrack that I talked about, the fact that is achintyam. So whatever you are seeing ultimately ends in I don't know. I may I may understand 90% of it, but in the end it says I don't know. So one doubt is given. That just like you say that all prapancha means the whole srishti, the whole order of the different things, is achintyam. Why can't we say that even the Atma is achintyam? Because we have the same things, because we cannot understand what the world is all about, and I also don't understand what I am all about. So they are both equal. No. And the reason is, these are all very precise. Just like the precision of saying that swapna is anyatha grahanam, the precision of the Atma being not achintyam is because it is not part of a prapancha. It is not a srishti. Atma is not a srishti. It is the only thing which is not. It's the funny part is that the Atma is so-called involved in the srishti, but it is not part of the srishti. By that means that really speaking, it is asangoham. It is not really, it is kind of like saying that the rope has nothing to do with the snake. It may be the basis of the snake, just like the prapancha is also the basis of the Atma. But Atma is not part of the prapancha. So you cannot say it is achintyam. Anyway, I'll close off that topic. We'll go into some other time. So coming back to here, then the start of the mananam is the strong conviction and thought that you should hold on to the coattails. The whole thing is a swapna. And there's some practical value in this also. Leave aside the leave aside the ultimate freedom that will come from it. Leave aside that for a minute. That will come later. But there is some immediate practical value. What is the practical value? Like if some things happens to us that is upsetting us every day, the best thing is to let it go. Don't hang on to it. Why did it happen? Why did that person say to me? And is it really, do I deserve to be criticized like this? Or is it the other person that, because our mind works like this. We want to get to the bottom of it. Because we want perfection. I want everybody to be nice to me. I want to be nice to others. And somehow I feel that that is an important part in my happiness in my life. It is not. Just leave it. Just laugh about it. Whatever happens, just laugh about it. Because you cannot analyze it. I mean, you have to, this is where the Ishvara Shrishti and the Jiva Shrishti comes in. If there are some, supposing you fall down and break a leg, okay, this is Ishvara Shrishti. Prarabdha karma, you had to fall down, you had to break a leg and suffer with it and just deal with it. So it's not that I'm going to laugh it off. That's not where you laugh it off. That is Ishvara Shrishti. Something happened to you, take care of it. But these unnecessary emotional problems that we have, where I have my own ideas of who I am and I criticize others, this is all Jiva Shrishti. So there, just achintyam. Don't overanalyze. Just drop it. Don't let go of it. And it may be tough in the beginning because not used to it. You want to really have a nice relationship with people and situations and so on. But the way to look at this swapna is just like you don't take swapna seriously, don't take anything seriously. But take yourself seriously. Only then the enquiry into the Atma will become fruitful. Because right now we are too involved with other things. We don't have time to, maybe a half hour we can do some study and we do some meditation, and the rest of the 23 and a half hours we are just involved with outside things. And the way to do that is that whatever is necessary for you to do, do it. That is Ishvara Shrishti. But other than that, just start with the fact that it does not matter. Does not matter. Another interesting thing, I'm just bringing it outside. I haven't even started the verses that I was promising to do. I may not be able to do it. And this actually will be, I'll talk a little bit more about in the Gita class today. But since I'm reading a lot of these stuff, they all come into relevance. So, in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajnavalkya is one of the most revered rishis in the Hindu tradition, makes a statement. He said that you have one of two ways of leading your life. One is called Kamayamanaha, the other one is called Akamayamanaha. So Kamayamana means one where you follow the symptoms of certain attractions and desires and you solve it by fulfilling those desires. This is what called Kamayamanaha. And this theme is very central to the Gita also, by the way. So I'll explain it more in the Gita class. But just very briefly, our model of living is to just see what is attracting me and what is bothering me and taking care of it. And so really speaking, these are the symptoms. Something happens and I take care of it. Then something else happens and I take care of it. Then I feel I'm okay now for a while. And then other things happen. This is called kamayamana. Akamayamana is where you inquire into what is the source of these desires. Why does it happen? What do I need to do? Can I be happy without fulfilling the desires? And here Swami Maheshananji, this is an independent book that he has written, which I recently got about a year or so ago, and it's just some lectures to the public, and beautiful. He said, if you analyze it, you find that it requires a lot of effort to fulfill your desires. And he likens it to the fact that if there is a train which has been fed in, either there's a coal locomotive or there's some electrical one, there's a lot of work you have to do to get the train moving. But if you find that the train is coming to a wreck, supposing that somebody says that this bridge is broken, then it requires just as much effort to break it. Because if you don't break it, just because of the momentum, it may create some problems for you in the rest of your life. So therefore, just to summarize this, Swami Maheshananji says, as the very substance of the Gita is, by not doing something, you don't solve the karma. You say, you know what, I agree, these desires are bothering me and so on, so I am not going to have any desires. I'm just going to quietly sit down. That's not going to work. It is exactly like the train engineer saying, okay, I'm going to switch off the engine and I'm not going to do anything. You will have a wreck. What you need to do is to work on where to break it, and breaking is very hard. You have to, the end of the bridge is coming up, and you have to really put all of your efforts into breaking it. So, akamayamana, according to the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, means you have to work to see where the problems are occurring and negate it. Not just sit there and saying, okay, from now on. Because the momentum will means more desires will come. More problems will come, and you'll have to deal with it, even if you don't want to. So physically not doing anything doesn't mean anything. You have to negate all the effects of, and it requires a lot of work to do. So similarly, going back to it, just to say that this is swapna, and I don't care much about it, it's not going to just happen by itself. Then one at a time, you have to say, let it go. It's okay. Why should you let it go? Because right now you don't have an understanding of the Atma. So you needed to not let it go. You needed to fulfill your kamana, kamayamana, and you're justified almost. But if you do have a promise that you are okay without requiring things to be okay outside, then the baby steps required to say let it go are very important. Very important. And how is that going to happen? You cannot say I'll do that tomorrow. Right now let me get upset. But from tomorrow on I won't get upset. No. Take the baby steps and say, you know what? Let it go. It's just like the road rage. People do all kind of stupid things, and you can always take the position that why did he come in? It is my right, so on and so forth. Unnecessary problems. Let it go. Your ego inspires and says, aren't you going to, these are your rights, you have to do this. Yeah, then you spend a lot of time fighting, and sometimes it results in gunfire and all that. Let it go. Let it go. Similarly in life also. And so just like the Swapna Avastha, so the whole discussion about Turiya and so on, this is the whole point. It is not just simple thing. In Turiya there is no Anyatha Grahanam, no Agrahanam, and so on and so forth. How? It all has to be done with a lot of effort. And it gets easier after a while. Then you find that you are becoming less dependent on other things. And just in the last few days, it's so interesting how you feel. Every time I go to some kind of somebody said, my gosh, you must be watching the tennis on the US Open. And there was this match that went on until 2 o'clock with Nadal. And they said, that was so interesting. Did you watch it? And I wasn't even aware of it. And at one time I did, by the way. I used to. In fact, right after I retired in the year 2000, now I have lots of free time. So I said, okay, now what am I going to do? And so that September, I decided to go and watch, because I was a tennis player on my own. I used to play a lot of tennis, not a very good one, but club style. But I've never been to the US Open. So I thought, it'll be nice. So I went to US Open. 2 years in a row, actually. I still have the t-shirts from it. And I was very interested, and so on and so forth. So I was very interested. And at that time, television, yes, I would see that. Gone. I don't have the time. It doesn't capture me anymore. Doesn't do anything. I'm on my own, and so on and so forth. And it is not just that. I find a number of things that used to unnecessarily capture my mind are gone. If I have to do something, I'll do it, but not because of my own kamya karma and so on and so forth. So some work has been done by me. I'm happy about it. That is now giving me the fruits that I am happy and independent. All these things about Trump and so on and so forth, I can be very upset. I would probably have been very upset, but I said, you know what, Ishvara is taking care of him. There is some process that is going on. And if I have to do some contribution, I do some fundraising for some Congress people and so on and so forth, yes. And I will vote and all of that. So whatever Ishvara Shristi is, I'll do it. But for me to get too upset about the whole thing, let us just watch to see. There's some reason for it. So a life of, and that time is really just focused on yourself. So this is not just, just bookish thing. You have to really understand the basis of all of this. Anyway, a lot of side commentary. Now let's go to, so in number 15, let's just quickly, I think we can still, I don't know. So 15 is rather easy and quick. So anyatha grinnataha swapnaha nidra tattvam ajanataha viparyase tayokshine turiyam padamashnute. So he says that this is summarizing what has already been said, that the swapna and nidra means that you don't understand yourself, but in turiya you do. So that's what it is. That's all 15. Then number 16, anadi mayaya suptaha yada jivaha prabudhyate ajam anidram aswapnam advaitam budhyate tada. So here we had spent a lot of time talking about yada and tada. And so I won't go into all the details of it. We went through that before. The key thing on this is that it is not a point in time where you wake up. In fact, you are already awake, and So the Atma is not to be described in terms of time. It is not, so there is an event. So I would say that the crux of what is being talked about, yada and tada, is that Atma is not an event. Not an event. It is not happening. So let's just pause on that part of it. So in fact, anadi mayaya suptaha yada jivaha prabudyate. So let me quickly go through some of the words. So anadi. So the word anadi can mean beginningless, because that can be done, and you can take it that way also. And if you want to take it from a standpoint of the beginning, then you should see that the entire creation is in the form of circles. The entire creation, the very fundamental building block of the creation, is in circles. Okay? And it's very obvious when it comes to the electrons and protons. It's very obvious when it comes to the earth moving around and everything rotating. It is less obvious in terms of our form. Our form seems to be a straight line. I was born at a certain point, then I grow older, then I disappear. And then, so this is why, when somebody dies, now there is a stone which writes down when they were born, there's a dash in between, and when they died. This Burt Reynolds, he just died. And so if you see it, that I forget how, I think it was 81 or 82. So beginning, dash, 2018, Burt Reynolds. So it looks like a straight line. It is not a straight line. It looks like a straight line. The fellow is going to be born, he's already started coming back again somewhere. That also, life is also a circle. Everything is in a circle. And the reason we say that is, there is no beginning point in a circle. When you see a circle, you cannot say this is... Now when you drew the circle, who drew it may have done it in the beginning. Like, you say, supposing I want to draw a circle and I want to start from here. That's an arbitrary thing. But once the circle is already there, there is nothing in the beginning. So in fact, it is always the whole Srishti in the form of multiple circles. And all in 3 dimension and always there. And always present. It may not appear to be that. So for example, it may not appear that this table, there are trillions of circles going on. In terms of the electrons and protons and so on, they're all moving in circles. But because of the forces and so on, it looks like a solid surface and a very plain surface. It may appear not to be a circle, but everything is a circle. So anyway, anadi means, you can take it that way. A better way to interpret anadi is the cause. So this is exactly going back to achinthyam. When we saw earlier that the whole creation is non-analyzable. How? Because we also say, why did this happen? There must be a cause for it. Oh, it's the reason is that, how did I fall down? I didn't know this. I was dark. How did it dark? Okay, you're going to understand how it was dark. How come I didn't see it? Oh, my mind was distracted and I just bumped into it. Why was your mind distracted? You can keep going, and so on. Achintya means, so look at this. Maya does not have a cause. So supposing you say Maya, about what the understanding of Maya is the Shakti where Anyatha Grahanam can take place. There is a possibility of not taking something to be what it is. It is due to Maya. The question is, what causes Maya? Maya is causeless. It is the way it is. The whole creation is the way it is. Circles are the way it is. This is how it is done. And does it mean that I cannot completely analyze it? Yes and no. There is no need to analyze it. See, the reason I look for causes, the mind looks for causes, that if I understand all the causes, then I'll be very happy. Then I will say, okay, I see. Somebody did something wrong and you say, I'm very sorry, very sorry. Why I didn't see you then you feel happy that there is some explanation for it. Ultimately, there is no explanation for anything. Achintyam is like a dream. And the sooner you start looking for the cause for it, because Maya has no cause. It is causeless. So this is another reading of the word anadi. So anadi can be either no beginning or it can be without a cause. So just some commentary on that. And so then ajam anidram aswapnam advaitam buddhyate tada. So here yada and tada, going back to it, is not a point in time. Why? Because Atma is not an event. Only events have a point in time. But the Atma is not an event. Ajam. And if you can just want to just dwell on that for 1 second, for a few minutes, not 1 second, but a few minutes, it's really worth doing. Atma is Ajam. This is a very beautiful to look at yourself and understand. Ajam. Ajam means unborn. Unborn. Several things to talk about it. So more in terms of kind of like a meditation. And also yukti. You can see the logic. So this is where Shruti, Yukti and Anubhava all come together so nicely in this word called Ajam. You just look at it. Let's just take an example of that. So the question is, when something begins as an event, means something is born, how do you determine it? How can you say something is born? Well, we can conclude that how we can conclude is that there is a witness to it. The only way to definitively conclude that some event took place is that there is a witness before the event took place, and the same witness is there after the event took place. Only then you can conclude that this event took place. Isn't it? Very obvious. But this is what it is. So all events need a witness to. So this is what is called what is the technical word for it? Yeah, this is what is called prak abhavaha. Prak abhavaha. Prak means prior non-existence. Abhava means non-existence and prak means prior. So prior non-existence, prak abhavaha, all events have a prak abhava. So when a person is born, there was prak abhava. Before that person is born, the person is not there. Leave aside the 9 months of being in the tummy of the mother or so on. Anything, take any event. And the same thing, by the way, equally important, is the disappearance of something. This is what is called pradhvamsa adhava. So disappearance of something would also require a witness, that it is there now, but at the next moment it is not there, it has disappeared. It is broken, like a pot is broken. The question is Atma an event? We all assume it is. So how do you say that Atma has an event? Because we all say, I was born. We just make a statement. I was, and we all ask each other, when were you born? Oh, I was born on such and such. I was born. And then so far it hasn't happened that I am now dead, but you'll say other people are. That person, Burt Reynolds, died. So Atma is born. So the question is, the definition of an event is a witness to a pragabhava. You cannot conclude on any event unless there is a witness to the event. Atma does not have pragabhava to be an event. So what's the situation? Situation is that this is what is called pramanatvam. Pramanatvam means the validity. Pramana means a valid, something being valid is called pramana. And so when an event is valid, it is because there is a witness to it. So the witnessing of an event is an important pramana. What is the pramana for the Atma being born? Well, we can conclude Atma, some Atma, the witness, saw the Atma being born. Doesn't happen. Now, what about your mother and father? They saw, yes, and the doctor and the and so on and so forth, the nurse, they all say, yes, he was. That's the body. That's the body. We're not talking about the body. I'm talking about the Atma, the awareness. So here's the situation. Our conclusion that I was born has no pramana. It is just a belief. In fact, it can never be proven. Why can never be proven? Because in order for it to be an event, you need to have a witness. There cannot be a witness to a witness to a witness. You'll never have the end of it. It is just like Maya has absolutely no beginning. Therefore, Atma also has no beginning. No beginning at all. It has always been there. So therefore, this yada and tada doesn't make any sense. So all it means is that when you say when the, so you say anadi mayaya suptaha yada jivaha prabudhyate, then advaitam buddhyate tada. So the jivatma, so here jivaha means the jivatma. The jivatma cannot be when and then in terms of time. Cannot be. It has to be done in terms of understanding that I was never born. And more importantly, this is the thing to see, I can never die. Whether I was born or not is kind of theoretical. Okay, who cares? All right, fine. If you're happy, then you can assume that I was not born. I think I was born. But my main concern is not when I was born, but when am I going to die? This is important stuff, because I'm very concerned. And the same logic applies in pradvamsa bhava. That because, and this is the thing, that one which is not born cannot die. And in fact, I tell you, it's interesting. This number 17 and 18, I won't go into the details of all of that, but if you look at the essence of it, essence of 17 and 18, prapancho yadi vidyeta nivartetana samshayah maya matram idam dvaitam advaitam paramartataha vikalpaha vinivarteta kalpitha yadi kenachit upadeshat ayam vadaha jnate dvaitam na vidyate, means that if it was really born, then you could say there is a possibility for it to die. But one which was never born cannot die. One which is not even there. The Dvaitam is not even there. It is an imposition on top of that. So this is not possible for it to die. So think about it. Be logical about it. Demand a pramana. This is why I feel that we don't keep on tooting our horns. But Vedanta is much, much, much more scientific than science. No comparison. What science says, prove it. Where is the Atma? Let's prove it. Let's see in the laboratory. And you don't seek to prove it. You don't need to prove it. It is proofless. The fact that you are there, that's the very awareness. So the baby is born, but the awareness of the baby was not born, is unborn. And not only it is unborn, but it never really loses its reality. This is what it says, ajam anidram aswapnam advaitam buddhyate tada. It's all a matter of just sorting out the pramanas and to understand that this is just make-believe. Because you find that this I know, I am, and I know is not something which is my quality, it is my swarupa. So in the Advaita Makaranda, in the second verse of Advaita Makaranda. Very beautiful word, text, so we'll perhaps take it one of these days. So it says, Ahamasmi sadabhami kadachit na ahamapriyaha brahmaiva tat siddham jivaha brahma eva na, something, second line I'm not very, I don't remember that, but it says, very simple, I am, and I am aware. And I never become the object of displeasure. So this is exactly like Satyam Jnanam Anantam, Satchid Ananda. This is the Param Brahma. Param Brahma means that it is always there regardless of what else is going on. I know. Just look at this. I know, my awareness. And this awareness and my existence, it's you can see some of it's borrowing to the other things, but by itself it never goes. This is the mananam. And so this mananam can begin to fructify only when you take the whole thing to be a swapna. Everything in your life, from beginning to end, except for yourself. Beautiful advice. This is Gaudapada's beautiful advice, that really you see the very nature of the whole creation to be a mirage. And therefore, the best thing for you to do to understand yourselves is to not take it too seriously. Just let it go. Because that is the sense of these verses, really. I mean, we can go into individual meaning. Each one of them is really so beautiful. Maya, prabudhyate, jiva, yada tada. And we did that the first time. But I think we have pretty much covered the very essence of these verses. And I think the essence is to keep in your mind, even though you're not completely convinced of it, but start on the process that the whole thing is swapna. Okay, so with that I'll close. And then I think for next week, we will start with the number 8, Saha Ayamatma Adhyaksharamaha Ankaraha Adhimatram Pada Matra Matra, etc. So we will start on the revision of up to this point is now over. We won't revise the revision. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Desho Yamksho Bharahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Yeah.
So here earlier we said that Atma is not Achintya, but verse 7 and many other Upanishads says Atma is Achintya.
Yeah. So what is said is that it's not. It is not to be analyzed in the way you are used to analyzing it. In that manner, achintya means that it is already there and you cannot see it as an object. You cannot use your indriyas for doing it and so on, but it is already there. That is the sense of saying that it is achintyam. That is not achintyam. Yeah, either way.
Undescribable.
Undescribable, ununderstandable as you understand other things. Because, for example, we say that something is there if I can either feel it or see it, some have to be present. So where is the Atma? In fact, that is exactly how we miss the Atma. Why 99.99999%, of the people, if you start talking to them, they'll get bored. They'll say, "What are you talking about? Where is what Atma are you talking about? Where is it?" And he said, No, I can't show it to you. Then don't waste my time. So this is the thing. So this is how we miss it. But then the one which is the common element to all of the things, that has to be analyzed, because nothing is possible without that. It's kind of like the sunlight, already always there. So in that sense, it is achintya. And so these are all words. So sometimes the words like suchintyam, not achintyam, but suchintyam means that it has to be, so the word even suchintyam also may not apply, because you can say definitely it is there. It is definitely there. In fact, one of the issues with Vishishta Advaita, and all the other schools of thoughts, etc., are also there, that yes, it is there, and everybody has a different Atma, and it is, and so on, which is not true. It is really the only one Atma for everybody. And so suchintyam also could mean a kind of like a definite definition of the Atma, is the way we think about it.
So when we say it's not achintyam, to a gnani, since gnani already knows Atma, we can say that it's not achintyam?
Yes, there you can say, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So it is all negative, that not this, neti.
Correct.
So then how do you understand or get it? How do you achieve understanding?
Because the one who's saying it is neti is the Atma. Neti means that one which is not anything other than you. One, so the two words are used, one is for sthula shariras and the one is sukshma shariras. But the one who is the very substance of the person who is saying neti, he's the Atma.
All right, if you prove it that way, but still nothing happens.
No, but then your question always has been that how do you get it and so on. So this is a slow process that you slowly that's a different issue. It is not a question of what is not, but how do I make sure that I understand it. And those questions are I'm very aware of the trends of your questions and so on. So that has to do with the process of understanding something that you're still not quite accepting in terms of its reality. It will come. It will come slowly, and we go through the discussions of Mananam and Nididhyasanam, And so, come in the sense that what is already there will become apparent. Nothing new will happen.
The clouds will disappear.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. All right. Okay. We'll see you next week.